Hi everyone, it's Tess, and today's tip is 385 and it's range of feelings. And the reason I'm talking about this is we all know I'm back to this book, Intuitive Eating, the workbook. And so much of my journey has had to do with changing my self-worth, my self-talk. And that is probably something that those of us who struggle with it, we struggle with it every single day. And I came across a section in this because we know I'm always grabbing something to see what I can find. And it came into a whole section where it talked about becoming aware of your range of feelings. And I know for myself that being aware of those feelings is so, so important because my decisions are impacted by how I'm feeling. And every single time I see one of these charts, and I'll just kind of show you this chart. And what I'm going to say about this chart is the thing that bothers me about these charts is that they're more negative thoughts than positive thoughts. Like this particular chart has a whole column on fearful, a whole column on angry, a whole column on sad, a column on joyful. So mind you, we've had 3 columns of negative thoughts and self-talk. Now 1 positive. Now we have disgusted, surprised, and ashamed. So 3 more, and only 1 of them is positive. So in this table of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories of words that we use in our journeys, only 2 columns have positive thoughts, positive energy, positive hopefulness, which I find for me has been the tool that I needed to move forward. I need to get past the fearful, the anxiety, the I can't do it. And I have to go, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to get there. And I'm going to push, I'm going to be excited, I'm going to be curious, and I'm going to just keep moving forward. And it just kind of made me realize that every single chart I have ever picked up focuses more on negative. And it made me realize that even for myself, I think I'm going to create a chart. And even if I use this chart to start with, I am going to put sticky notes over the top of every negative word in this chart to kind of start thinking, to becoming more aware of my thoughts and to continue to try to improve my thoughts, to be more productive, helpful, and to push me forward. I don't want to live in places of being nervous or worried or anxious or disgusted or angry. I want to be joyful. I want to be happy. I want to be surprised. I want to be delighted. And I found a list of like amazing positive words. You know, there's so many out here. There's a list of 300 positive words. So I'm going to create my own little chart because what I'm going to say is the last couple of years has had a lot of talk about mindfulness. And mindfulness, I think, is really important. Hi, Thomas. Mindfulness is really important in keeping moving forward on my journey. Mindfulness, recognizing when I've let myself shift into I'm going to call it a gray area. It used to be a black area and a hole I'd fall in, but I've learned to crawl out of it faster now. And again, this is just from Intuitive Eating. This is a workbook that the Intuitive Eating author, Evelyn Tribole, Tribole, put together. But what it's making me realize is that in all areas of life, even psychology, because someone from Dr. V's tribe works in psychology, and she was even telling me the same thing, like on the emotional wheel, like when they're working with patients, there are more and more and more negative words, negative thoughts, negative feelings. The lists are a lot less in the area of positive, and positive is where our self-worth comes from, our curiosity, I think our drive and our ambition to push forward. And I've just decided, I think I'm going to put a chart up on my own refrigerator. And every day I'm going to just keep putting positive words on there just to keep reminding myself that there is nothing that any of us can't accomplish. We are not in competition with each other. We all have the ability to reach for everything we want and keep pushing forward. We need to be full of hope. We need to be full of excitement. We need to be full of joy. We need to be full of belief in ourselves. We need to build up our self-worth. And I think when we do that for ourselves, it kind of spreads to the people around us. But I'm tired of looking at all these charts, and all these charts are full of, like I said, this particular one. Hi, Robin, good to see you. I've got a couple on today. I can't see everybody, but hello, whoever's here. But like I said, this is Intuitive Eating, and what hit me today is there's this thing that everyone talks about is mindfulness. And for me, even though that word mindfulness kind of confuses me sometimes, and I'm like, so what exactly does it mean? Because different things you read make it mean something different. I'm going to take mindfulness kind of literally. What is my mind thinking right now? How am I feeling? What are my emotions? Are they in such a place that I'll make good decisions, that I'll feel good and I'll move forward in my life, in my journey? Will I be hopeful and joyful to the people around me? And if it's not, I'm going to take the little tweaks. And like I said, I have a list of 300 positive words. And I'm going to put a chart right on my refrigerator because I want to replace these charts. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, this chart has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. And of those 7 columns, only 2 of them have positive, uplifting type of statements. And I found for myself, the more that I hear negative, the more that I feel these like fearful, edgy, frightened, nervous, scared, worried, vengeful, resentful, outraged, the more those things are mulling around inside my body, the worse I feel and the less I feel confident that I can move forward. And I just think that we need to shift the way we talk to ourselves and to everyone around us. So I'm going to challenge myself and anyone who wants to join me that I'm going to just make a big chart full of positive words, and I'm going to put a new one up there every day because I want to override those thoughts that have blocked me, that have caused me to stand and watch everybody else venturing out. Because we all deserve a chance to move forward. We need to be thinking in places of being amused and delighted, to be gratified, happy, satisfied, silly, joyful. We need to be surprised. We need to be startled in a happy way. I thought it was interesting because they even kind of talked about when you think about it, recognizing it. I think that's the first part because I'm going to work with like some alignment coaching, which is just trying to help people recognize when their thoughts are shifting in a place that doesn't feel good. And this list here I thought was very telling because these are things I used to think that I've been working on the past year to overcome. When I used to eat, was I feeling frustrated? Was I feeling stressed? Was I upset with myself? Or can I replace that? Can I be excited because I made a good decision? Can I be hopeful that the scale's going to go down? Can I be curious about what I can eat new in fruits and vegetables that I haven't had in a long time and see if I can make it into something new and exciting and fun to eat? Because here's another one. I find myself eating to avoid dealing with problems. Well, maybe I can take a brisk walk. Maybe I can build a puzzle. Maybe I can gratitude journal for a few minutes. There's always a switch. So even this, I'm going to take this list of statements, these negative statements. I have difficulty talking about my feelings. I'm going to shift these and I'm going to find ways to make these positive because it'll help me with my alignment coaching. It'll help me with my own thought patterns. And hopefully it will help all of us to start recognizing that when we start thinking in that place of negative thoughts and negative emotions, are we the type of person that allows those thoughts to paralyze us and allows us to give up on ourselves? Or can we take those things and push forward in a way to be hopeful and excited and joyful? And for me, I find that when I do these positive thoughts and when I keep myself being excited about the journey, I'm willing. Like Doc V says, I don't watch, the TV may be on in the background, but I don't watch it, and in the past, before I got into all this stuff, I probably watched every Hallmark movie at Christmas time 14 times. But now I've realized that I find a joy and excitement in doing new things and accomplishing things. It's funny, I had to put a list together for Chris for something for next week. And I was, I drew a blank about like what have I accomplished in the past 6 months, but then I sat down and I put some categories and I just started filling them. And I'm like, oh, you know what? It's kind of nice every once in a while to look back at that because life keeps moving on. And I think sometimes we get stuck on the negative stuff and not on the positive. So take a few minutes today and think about the positive things. Think about something to be excited for. My phone yesterday, and I hope it pops up again so I can see it. I take pictures in the morning when I walk. walk when the sun is coming up and it's beautiful out. And I had so many beautiful pictures on my phone from sunrises that somehow my phone had put them together and put them to a song, and it was beautiful. And what I realized when I watched it, first I thought, wow, what a beautiful little thing. But then when I looked back and watched it, they were my pictures. It was my life. It was the way I was moving my direction forward. And that's what I want for all of you guys. I used to live in that place where I had 7 columns of, I'm going to say I probably had 8 columns of negative and only 1 of positive. But let's all wipe out all those negative self-talk and negative self-worth, and let's find the things to be hopeful about, the things to be positive about. And the lists that are out there with 300 words that can help us to stop beating ourselves up and start enjoying this life. It's a beautiful life when you open yourself up to it. So open yourself up. Today is a beautiful, Doc V's been talking about this a lot lately too. Today is a beautiful sunrise. We're going to hit 50 degrees by the weekend. Flowers are going to start to bloom. Vegetables are going to start growing. I'm going to start sunflowers for this year so that the girls next door and I can start looking to see, because we have a goal to see if I can get a sunflower to grow taller than our houses. So find something to be excited about. Find something to be hopeful about. Find something to be joyful about. We all need to turn these columns of emotions from 7 columns of negative emotions to being 9 columns of positive words, positive thoughts, positive ideas that can be curious, hopeful, energetic, joyful, and allow us to move forward and find successes in our lives. We've had the sad parts for a long time, and it's easy to find something. When we get in a pattern of looking for the things that are going wrong, it's easy to keep falling in that place. It might take a little bit of work to shift into that place of feeling good, but it's worth the effort. I've been doing it for the past year now, and my life has improved in huge ways by shifting where I think. I fall back on it sometimes, but I'm going to keep that list and I'm going to put that chart up on the refrigerator. Believe in yourselves. Believe in the chance to make something different. Create that beautiful sunrise every morning. Put that picture together so you can accumulate a whole bunch of them so that if things start to stumble a little bit, you can look at something that makes you feel good and move yourself forward in a way that is more beautiful than you ever dreamed possible. Thank you and have a beautiful day.